Here comes Speed Racer, he's a demon on wheels.
Welcome everybody back to Chronicles on Tape. I am Joey Lee, aka Sticky Dojo, and as usual we have Yuta,
aka Utah.
And today we have a very special guest. His name is Ryan Durr. If you guys follow the Chronicles for any length of time or like have been on the vlogs before, you'll notice that Durr has executive producer credits, even though he hasn't been on the vlogs in a while because he's too busy traveling.
Sorry.
Today we're gonna do something a little unique. Instead of asking Utah about what he's doing on the per usual basis, which is kind of the same thing, where he's working on cars, we're gonna kind of talk about how we almost mistakenly or unexpectedly revived the Kanjo racing scene in Japan and kind of reintroduced it to the world here in the United States. It's something that I think needs to be talked about instead of written about, because I think when you write and read things, it can be taken out of context, and I don't think people really grasp, the gravity of it all, because, it kind of, not only did it kind of bring Kanjo racing back to light here and over there, it also kind of helped to revive or keep the Honda scene going in Osaka, because it seemed like for a while Honda's kind of like disappeared into the background, and now in Japan it seems like they're very much back into the mainstream. So
I wasn't there for any of this.
Yeah, this all predates like Utah coming on board, because Utah didn't start coming along with us to Japan until 2 years ago?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so 2 years ago, and then I think we started doing this whole thing in January of 2013, right?
Yeah, 2013.
So it was our first trip to Tokyo Auto Salon together, and I think that was around the time when, actually for sure it was a time when Yasu didn't even speak very much English yet.
We had a translator with
we had to have a translator. Yeah, before we would just kind of go to Tokyo and then go to TAS and then kind of hang out, and then a couple days into Tokyo Auto Salon or Tokyo trip, we'd kind of take the train over to Osaka and then hang out with the Osaka side, and that's when we would hang out with Yasu. And he barely spoke any English. Like, he knew a few words, but then he had a translator, which was his like high school friend named Ayako, and we don't see her very much anymore because she's too busy working at her job at a Michelin star rated restaurant, right?
Yeah,
at a hotel.
Intercontinental Hotel.
Yeah, and then we don't see her anymore.
As what? What does she do?
She's like a waitress, right? Or hostess or something. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She's cool, but
yeah, I've met her.
Oh, you have? Have you?
I have.
When did you meet Ayako?
In Japan, I think.
Were you on the trip with us with Doug?
No. I wasn't with any of you guys. I think it was just me and Yasu, and we're like, oh, we're gonna go hang out. I was like, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And she popped up?
I think so. I don't know.
Last year? This year?
Last year? I don't know. I'm pretty sure I met her though.
That's weird.
Maybe when she came to the U.S. with Yasu.
Huh.
Cause I remember when I first met him, he had somebody with him.
Oh, okay. That wasn't with us then.
No, I was off doing. I was just being alone.
Just being like in another shop guy.
Another shop guy. What was I doing? I think I was working at Tanabe at the time.
You're working for SSR.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyways, back in 2013, we were just kind of like adventuring on Japan on our own, which I kind of miss those days because it was fun in that we got to like ride the train and stuff, and then
kind of just explored everything.
Yeah, we had no idea what we were really doing, and then
that sounds hella fun, dude.
Yeah, dude.
You know what happens now?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. The only Japan that I know personally is bring hella parts to Japan.
Yeah.
Get to Japan. Somebody picks me up, go to the shop, work for like 18 hours, sleep in somebody's living room, go back to the shop, work for like 36 hours, bend some lines, sand some cars.
Yeah.
I want to ride some fucking trains, man.
Apply some stickers and shit. Now you're just a mule.
God. Keep Yasu from putting stickers on everything.
Miserable.
Yeah, now you're just a worker.
Fucking horrible.
This is what happens when you're Japanese and you speak Japanese.
No, fuck that, dude. I want to ride trains and get off at the wrong stop and eat foods.
We used to always get lost and then eat sandwiches and then eat McDonald's and then discover things.
Yeah, just get lost, not know where the subway station is, discover the Nissan headquarters museum.
Yeah.
In Yokohama?
Yeah.
I've actually been there.
And then we would just walk around with Salem because he's diabetic and always needs food, but then he doesn't want to eat anything, so we're...
That sounds
Like,
like fun
you should just
too.
eat. We don't want you to die.
Yeah, that's how he became the travel grandma, because you kind of just bring him along, and then he doesn't seem like he ever wants to do anything, even though he's really interested. But anyways,
Salem's a fun guy.
yeah, Salem is great. He's just, if you don't really know him, he comes off kind of like quiet, you know. So I mean, that's how it is for all of us, I think. But yeah, Salem's a fun dude. You just gotta give him a chance. But actually, Salem was on that trip with us too.
Yeah,
because-
Salem was there.
Yeah, back then it was me, Dur, my ex went with me on that trip, and then Ryan was with us, and then our friend Nick, who was like married and
Nick was there.
riding
Oh,
bikes
this
somewhere.
was previous to when Robert and Yuri went with you.
Yeah,
guys.
this is
Yeah.
2013.
God damn.
So actually, Ken was there too.
Yeah, Ken was
Yeah,
there.
Ken was hanging out with Hiro though, but Ken wasn't allowed to do any of this stuff, you know. So
yeah, he must maintain a
yeah,
positive
must
image.
maintain positive image, you know. So
Huh.
so we were in Osaka for a few days, and then we went to like Jay's Racing, which is, I don't know, kind of a waste of a trip. I mean, it was fine, whatever. Jay's Racing's cool, but I mean, we went there, and then we went to a couple other shops. Yasi would take us around, feed us and stuff, and then it was still very like green at the time, our friendship, where it was more like, since he couldn't communicate with us, he was just kind of like a tour guide essentially. And then so we would go to Tactical Art back when he was still with Tactical Art. We would kind of watch them work on cars and shit, and then stand in front of a heater because it was fucking cold as hell, and then we would eat curry and shit like that. And then I remember one of the things Yasi, the only thing that he knew how to say was, "Do you want a kanjo?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "Okay, what the fuck does that mean?" And then Ayako was just like, "Oh, it's just street racing." And I was like, "It's like drag racing?" It's a weird thing. I was like, I kind of knew what kanjo was because I had seen the old, what were those DVDs called?
JDM Insider.
Yeah, JDM Insider, and then but it was like super shitty video, you know, and that was like from 2004, and then that was like the only exposure any of us really had to Kanjo racing. Like even if you kind of searched online, you couldn't find anything, you know. So Yasi was like, he was super stoked about this shit, and then we were just like, I don't know, man, like kind of just want to hang out and eat and stuff. And then like on the night that we were about to leave, like we had a flight the next morning, he was just like, hey, he said in Japanese, so he was just like, hey, we're gonna go Kanjo racing. And then we're like, I don't really want to go. So
we weren't really excited about it, and it was like 2 a.m. after dinner, and we were like,
yeah, it was 2 in the morning already.
You guys are nuts.
It was 2 in the morning. We had a flight to catch the next day, and then I was like, I even told my ex, I was like, hey, maybe you should sit this one out. Just let's go to sleep in the hotel just in case you die or we die or something. And then, I don't know what the fuck was going on. So she left, and then it was just me, Nick, Dur, Salem, and then the translator lady, Ayako. And by that point, she was just like tired as hell because we dragged her around the whole day, making her translate all kinds of dumb shit, you know? I mean, pretty much what you do now. So. But granted, Yasi actually speaks English now. As before, he only knew like 4 words. So
does he speak English now?
yeah, his English is almost too good now because he's like doing too much now.
Bullshit.
So, anyways, the thing with Ayako was that she only works till about midnight. After midnight, she kind of also forgets how to speak English. So she'll just doze off, fall asleep, or she'll like drink with us, and then she'll be too drunk to translate anything. So we are in a van, in the same van that we always ride in whenever we go to Osaka.
The Alphard?
Yeah, the Alphard, which is owned by one of Yasu's friends. For the longest time, we had no idea who even owned the van. Did you know that Yuta actually met the guy? Oh, actually met the guy too.
The owner does exist.
Yeah, he's just like some regular Japanese guy.
He's not that regular,
Yeah,
but
Okay.
regular.
but
Regular in Osaka.
he's like, man, every time this van comes back, there's like always a new fucking dent in it.
Yeah, I've like
Someone
literally.
fucked up the
He's
door
like,
at Jay's
something about-
Racing,
That was
remember?
me. I fuck up the event every single year.
You hit the door on something every time.
Yeah,
That's what he says. He's like, every time on this door,
Is it the sliding
fucking
door?
dent.
Japan's too small. No, I usually sit in the front, so I've like banged that passenger side door like 3 times
Because
already.
they have high curbs sometimes.
And then at Jay's Racing was when I fucked up the sliding door.
Yeah, it just went.
Yeah, I pushed the door and I slid it out,
Right
and then it hit
into
the
the
curb.
curb.
Yeah, that was when Taku was taking us around. It wasn't even Yasu taking us around. Yasu would be working with Atsuki at Tactical Art, and then Taku, which was their friend, he also has a really nice EK. He would be the one that was taking us around everywhere because he spoke the most English.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it wasn't very good either.
It's like
but-
Japanese on.
yeah, he looked like On from ATS Garage. But yeah, he would take us around, and then he kind of knew English, and then he kind of knew Ayako too, so it was just easier for him to get us around. Yeah. So that night we were just like, what? We ate dinner that night. It was probably
like shabu.
yeah, shabu or JBBQ or some whatever usual
course.
shit that we eat there. Yeah. So they were like, hey, we're gonna go Kanjo racing, and then Hiro was there, and then Ken was with us too, and then we were just like, yeah, don't tell Hiro that we're going out because Hiro doesn't like us doing that kind of stuff. You know, he like wants us to be like straight edge on the straight and narrow. And then so we were like, yeah. I told Ken, I was just like, I remember I was like, hey, we're gonna go out, but like, don't say anything. and then you can't come with us because you're Hiro's friend, so go stay with Hiro. And then so we're just like, all right, fine, we'll go, because Yasu was so persistent on trying to get us to
bitch,
go
we're
out.
going shopping.
Yeah. So
2 in the morning.
yeah, and at that point, even if we said no, I think he would have taken us out anyways. Even though we were standing in front of our hotel, he was just like, hey, we're gonna go. So okay, fine, whatever. He takes us onto the loop, which if you watch the Kanjozoku video from Bowls, Utah described to you exactly what the loop was.
Should I?
Yeah. Do you have it recited?
Oh man, that was like, what, 5 years ago?
Well, I mean, just give everyone a basic idea of what it is.
The 4.12 mile. I don't know. I forgot. I don't know how long it is. It's like X amount of.
It was 4
mileage.
miles or something.
Yeah, 4 miles and 4.62 mile stretch of the Osaka highway is used for normal commuters during the day, but at night it becomes something
Their
along the lines of some sort
Yeah,
of
an automotive playground. Yeah.
Yeah.
Essentially, it's Osaka's highway system. It's in a loop. That's why it's called a loop, and then it connects all the roads in Osaka. And guys,
It's similar to like how a typical train system works in Japan, but you just go on it with cars.
yeah. So guys would race on it at night, and then like in the mid 2000s is when it started getting pretty bad. I think like 80s, 90s was huge. Everyone was doing it. There's all kinds of car crews and stuff, and then
Started as early as the 70s.
yeah, but by the early 2000s, like cops started cracking down on it really hard, and then the scene kind of died out. And then there were only a couple guys left. Like a lot of the older guys, they either grew up and stopped doing it, or they grew up and then they just weren't really into it anymore because the scene had kind of died. And then there were some diehard older guys that were still doing it, but they would just do it on their own or with like a very select group, like 1 or 2 guys, you know. So Yasu knew a couple guys that were still doing it, and he wanted to show us, you know. And then we were just like, all right, fine, we'll do it. So we hopped on the freeway, and then we were kind of just like circling around the freeway for like an hour, right?
I don't know if it was that long, but we all fell asleep.
Yeah, dude, we were on the freeway like fucking forever. And then like a couple of the other guys who were hanging out with Yasu at the time, they were in another part of the freeway from like a high rise so they can watch. And then, dude, we circled around for so long, everyone fell asleep. And then all of a sudden, like I want to say like 20 minutes to 40 minutes in, you hear Yasu get super excited. And he's like, oh, I don't know what he said.
No, he said, racer! And then
Yeah.
he said, and then we're like, huh? And then, vroom, vroom, vroom.
Yeah,
Like,
it was crazy.
Okay.
So we all woke up, and then we saw this blue and silver Civic just fly by, and then it starts weaving in and out of the lane, you know, like heating the tires thing. And we were like, what the fuck is going on? Is he retarded? Like why is he driving like that? And then
This was in the winter, right?
this was in the
Yeah,
winter,
in the winter.
so
January.
it was cold, dude.
Dude,
And-
okay, so in the winter in Japan, like our compound tires on that surface is fucking sketchy.
Mhm.
Durnos.
Well, those were old, so.
Yeah.
Dude, they were so bad at. Anyways, sorry.
Yeah, but it's really cold. So that night it was that blue and silver EK, which turned out to be Ryuichi, and it was a green EG at the time.
Green, blue,
Green.
and
It was
black.
like multicolored. It was
Yeah.
like his right hand man, his homie. I think that guy ended up getting another car and then another car later, but he's still around. He still hangs out with them. And then the other guy was a white EK9, and then it was always those 3 together. From the early years when we started going out there, it was always those 3 together. Like if you didn't see those guys, we wouldn't go out to the highways. And then that night we couldn't even see what the fuck was going on, because there's no way that Alphard goes fast enough. And even if it did go fast enough, you didn't want that thing to go that fast, you know, because it was also cold. So we would just kind of like watch them do a couple laps, and then they were just like specks of light. We didn't know what the fuck was going on, you know. And we didn't have any type of camera work that we knew how. We didn't even like, Dur wasn't even into photography or video at the time yet, so he wasn't even doing anything. He just had your phone, right?
I had a Canon, like, SD
Yeah.
990 or something like
Just
that.
some camera that he brought just because for the trip.
Point and shoot.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I couldn't shoot at night because the cars were going by so fast. And then I did some video. I'm pretty sure I still have it somewhere, but it was awful. And then at one point we pull off the highway. Did anything happen to the car, or did they just want
Oh,
to
he
stop?
ran out of gas.
Oh yeah. Anytime we go out with him, something always happens to that fucking car. So he ran out of gas, so he kind of coasted off the highway like he usually does. And then we pull over on some side street, and then we get out for the first time and we see these guys. Like we don't know who these guys are. They look super sketch, you know, obviously. And then they didn't say anything to us because they don't speak English. They just kind of did their like greetings and then the bow stuff, and then we kind of looked over their cars, and then they were like super ratty, you know, like from what we're used to. They're just like street cars. And then actually, oh, let me backtrack. When these cars were flying around on the highway, Yasu was just like, oh, he's pointing that one. He was like, that's the king. And we were like, huh?
He's like, boss. Oh, he was swerving back and forth,
Yeah.
and we're like, damn, like a boss. You know,
Mhm.
look at the phrase, like a boss.
Yeah.
And then Yasu's like, yeah, boss.
Yeah.
We're like, oh, so he's like the Kanjo king?
Yeah. So that's how that name came about. There wasn't any type of like official title for that guy, and we just sort of,
It was kind of just in like casual saying.
yeah.
Oh.
Well, just like in Japan, they understand what the word king means. You know, that means it's like the top level, best everything. You know. So he was like, "Oh, it's the king," and I was like, "Oh shit, that's the Kanjo king." We didn't even know his name at the time.
No.
That's how we referred to him the first couple years.
It was like 2 years later when we thought it was we heard Yoichi.
Yeah.
Like, huh?
And the best thing about this dude is that he always goes out with his girlfriend, and then she's the point of contact. I remember whenever Yasu would call to see where he was, she would always be the one to talk on the phone.
To this day, whenever he needs to call me, I get a Facebook call from her.
Yeah, she's the secretary / point of contact / boss lady, you know? And then they're still together and stuff, so it's pretty cool.
She's the Kanjo queen.
Yeah, so whenever we would try to take pictures, she already knew the routine. She would pull up the mask and cover her face, or his face would always be covered anyways. And then at that time, Yasu was like being super secretive about it. He was like, "Hey, don't tell anyone that I brought you out here. It's like there's like business, blah blah." And then like he was like, so I mean, it didn't fucking make any sense because it was pretty obvious that it was him taking us around, you know, because there was no one else that was taking us. So Yasu was just like, through Ayako, he was like, "Yeah, don't show their faces, don't show the license plates, anything. Like it's supposed to be super secretive." And at that time, we had no idea that it was going to be anything, you know? So we're like, okay, well, we'll treat it like it's super secretive. We're not going to show anything. Like, I got out, and then I don't even think I brought my tripod at the time.
No, we were like we found boxes, and you guys were setting your cameras on boxes, trying to use it as a tripod.
Yeah, that's why all the old photos were like super kind of weird angles and stuff, because we didn't know what to expect. I didn't bring a tripod. We didn't know that we were going to get out of the car to look at these cars even, you know? We thought we were just going to watch some race and then go home. We ended up, I think I shot on a traffic cone.
I was using flash.
Yeah. There was like some boxes on the freeway entrance that I used, and then Salem had his own methods of taking photos, and then he had some photos too, and I have to dig those up. But we all just kind of looked over the cars, and then it was kind of amazing that, you know, to see this kind of stuff, because at that point we didn't even see any Hondas in Osaka other than going to shops, you know. You didn't see anything on the streets, and then we didn't know till later how revered the Civic was, and that's why you'd never see them anywhere, you know. So and upon first meeting, we were just like, oh wow, this is really cool, and then the next day we just went home. Like, we didn't think anything of it. So we flew home, came back to America, and then started posting about it. And then when did we realize that Ryuichi's car was in the JDM Insider video?
I don't know. I just watched it because I was like, oh, I want to see what Kanjo, what can I find on YouTube?
Mm-hmm.
And I found the old JDM Insider video, and in one of the scenes you just see Ryuichi's car. I'm like, what the?
Yeah. And then it was crazy because we were watching that old video again on YouTube of the JDM Insider thing with that covered Kanjo racing, and his Civic was in there, and it looked exactly the same, you know. Like, that car hasn't changed over time. We know that now, you know. But just, we didn't know anything about him. We didn't know how old he was. Yasu just told us he was old.
He's not even that old.
He's an older guy or whatever, you know. I don't know what kind of English he was speaking to us. He probably didn't even know what old meant, so... So I was like, we got back, and we're like, oh man, we've got some weird, cool stuff towards the end of the trip. We'll post about it, but we can't say too much about it. So we were just like, oh yeah, we met up with these guys for some late night highway racing. We didn't even call it Kanjo. We were just like, oh, street racing. And then we were just like, oh, this is the guy that's known as the king. Blah, blah, blah. He's like the shit in Osaka. And then I kind of caught on. And then people started talking about it. But then the next year was when it got super crazy, because I think once those Japanese dudes realized that we were in media and that we had like the type of following that we had, like once they found out that Kanjo racing was even on like a computer screen in like 2013, they were like, fuck it, we want to be a part of it. So we didn't even go back. There was no Week Fest Japan yet.
No.
Yeah. So we were only going to Japan once a year. So the following year we went back in January, and then Yasu was just like, hey, you want to go Kanjo racing again? We're like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it, you know? At that point, we had kind of been more excited. We kind of understood what was going on. So we're like, yeah, well, they're going to have a gathering. And we're like, okay, cool. So it's going to be like a meet or something, you know? We like ate dinner, did the usual shit, and then anytime we go out with Yasu and he plans something, you can automatically add a 2-hour gap in there, because there's always 2 to 3 hours where we're not doing anything.
Just waiting.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
There's a whole lot of waiting. That's why I kind of...
Must be nice.
Yeah, I like the earlier trips, because during those gaps, or there were times when we didn't see Yasu, and there would be no gaps. There would be none of us waiting for anything. We would just do our own thing. So he was just like, oh yeah, this was still... Ayako was still around then.
Ayako was still
Yeah. So she was just like, oh yeah, they're going to take you guys to like Universal Studios or the area. And then we were like, oh cool. And we didn't know that it was just like some fucking back street and behind Universal Studios. And then we pulled up and we got out of the car. There was no one there yet, right?
I think there were a couple Top Gun cars.
Yeah. That was the first time we got to meet the guys from Top Gun.
The Accord was there.
Yeah, the red Accord. We kind of got out and we were taking pictures. By that time, I brought my tripod out. I was like, there's probably some good stuff out here that we should capture. And then I just remember the street being super orange, and I was like, dude, it's horrible photos because everything's orange. And then I started doing video at the time, but we weren't vlogging yet. So I didn't know what I was going to do with the video, and I'm pretty sure the video still hasn't been used.
We have a GoPro. We had a GoPro that day.
We had Ryan's GoPro. It was like a GoPro fucking zero. Like, it's like a GoPro -3 because we didn't know how to use it.
They probably didn't even film in 720p. It was probably like 480.
The fucking memory card was probably like a 256 megabyte memory card.
Where do you even buy that?
Yeah, so we didn't know what to do with it. And I was doing video with my SLR. I just remember standing there, and you can just hear the rumble of these cars coming, you know? And we're like, dude, this is crazy. Like, the longer we waited, more cars showed up. How many cars do you think showed up, Danny?
It's probably like almost 20, maybe?
Yeah, like 20 cars. And it was mostly guys from No Good Racing, and then a lot of guys from Top Gun. We haven't seen the Top Gun guys since, so there's probably some, like, you know, thing going on between them.
One car from Lawbreak.
Yeah, so...
Wait, really? I thought the Top Gun guys, they were at your meet a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And they were at the Civic meet this past winter. They've been around.
Yeah, but like maybe a year or so after that, I'd found out that they had some issues with each other, you know?
Right.
There's always some issues with, you know, that's how they are,
Something
you know?
happened and they
Yeah, some sort of probably business or driving or whatever. Anyways, there was no Kanjo King that night, earlier on that night. We were all just kind of hanging out, and then we were like, hey, Yasu, are we going to go on the highway or are we going to race or whatever? And then he was like, oh yeah, we're waiting for Yuichi to come out. And then I was like, what's he doing? And he's like, oh, he's late. He's taking a shit. And then he was just like, yeah, if he doesn't show up, we're not going out. Because they all wait for him. Because he's respected or whatever, you know. So we all just kind of hung out. And then, was that the same time when we went on that whole parade through the city?
Yeah.
And he wasn't even around yet. He didn't come out till later that night.
He showed up and then disappeared.
Yeah, he left.
And then that's when Sonoda kind of took the reins.
Yeah. So in that trio that we first saw the year before, it was Kanjo King. The other one was his homie, probably his like super tight homie, and then the third guy in the white EK9 was Sonoda, which we later found out was from Lawbreak.
Right.
And then he ran Impact and all that stuff. At that time, whenever the Kanjo King wasn't around, Sonoda would run everything. He would be in charge of the cruises, if we were going to go on the highway or not. Like, he dictated where we went. And then that night, we'd be like pretty much paraded around the entire area of Osaka, which is insane. Because that was the first time we ever saw that large of a group of cars together. And I think they said that they hadn't gotten that big of a group together in like 7 years or something like that. Which is pretty crazy that these guys were willing to just kind of group together and hang out with a bunch of fucking strangers, like Americans, who they had no idea what we were going to do with the footage, you know? So we were taking photos and stuff, and then at that time, Dur was taking some pretty good photos while we were driving, which is pretty crazy. And then we would see...
I know, I've seen them.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Oh, yeah. The ones in the bathroom.
Yeah, they're
One
fucking
of them
amazing.
actually made it into print.
Yeah. And then, yeah, these guys were like driving on the other side of the road and shit. And then just madness, dude. Like, there was an intersection where everyone just stopped, and then Sonoda got out of the car. He just started dancing.
And everyone was just revving and
Yeah.
revving, and he was just dancing in the
He was
middle
dancing.
of the street
Yeah, it was
with
like-
the door wide open.
There's an old man dancing in the intersection. We didn't even know how old he was. Like,
He's pretty old.
yeah, he's pretty old. So he was like, this guy jumped out of his EK. He's like masked and everything, so we didn't know who he was. And he sort of started dancing, and I was like, dude. Like,
Was he wearing a red jumpsuit?
He was.
Yeah, he was. Same red jumpsuit.
That's his
Yeah.
signature, man.
What do they call him now? JDM Oji-san. Yeah, he's super famous now in Japan because of the Bulls video. And then, it was around that time when Brandon started jumping in. And then that's when he started working on the whole Kanjozoku video. And Mike Garrett was also over there at the time.
Right.
So I think if there was a collective of people that did help revive that scene, it would be credited to Brandon, Mike, and to us.
Definitely agree with that.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like, it's gotten pretty popular now, and I don't know. I thought it would be crazier than... I don't know. I imagine people just being more stupid over here, but luckily it hasn't gone that bad. But the Kanjo scene has definitely become like its own thing now. It's like become pretty well recognized and almost mainstream here in the U.S. car community, Honda community. Even though some people talk down on it or are super negative about it, but
It's become a style.
yeah, it's become its own style. Which I don't know if it's ever executed properly. I don't think it is, but I think you have to be there to understand it. You know.
No, I get it. Like, people are scared that maybe they'll go to Japan one day and they'll be driving to dinner and somebody might accidentally clip their mirror.
Well, it
and-
definitely happened, man. Because there's like people that are making fake no good racing bullshit. You know.
Yeah, you gotta speak out about it now to make a change in the world.
Yeah, but yeah, But in 2014, I was just like imagining, I was like thinking back now, I was like, dude, imagine what we could have done had we actually known what the fuck we were doing and what we were watching. Because we were watching all this stuff unfold, and then I guess it's better that we got to take it in the way we did, and that we weren't so focused on shooting it or anything, and that we got to witness it with our own eyes. But from a media perspective, I'd wish that we were able to just like get out of the van and like GoPro Sonoda dancing in the intersection. Yeah. And seeing this, and seeing Waki just lose control, making a left turn. Yeah, Waki's another No Good Racing guy. He's like one of the guys that we always see whenever we go to Japan, and he actually, I'm gonna talk about that.
He's a good guy. I like him.
Yeah, he's a solid guy, but he's also kind of known as like a crazy reckless driver. So he's just like randomly
No, he
lose
just
control.
sucks at driving.
Yeah, he sucks at
He
driving.
sucks at driving.
He like people always fuck with him and like changes the alignment settings and stuff, so his car just randomly spins out. Yeah, so 2014 was probably the year when we knew that we were onto something. We just had no idea what to do with it. And I was like, dude, imagine if we had all the equipment and technology that we have now to record all that stuff. That shit would be amazing, you know? Because when I first started posting Kanjo videos on YouTube and stuff, I was getting so much hate for it, dude. Because I was posting all kinds of disclaimers, like, this is dangerous, don't try this shit at home. And then we didn't record anything good. So people were commenting on the videos like... What's dangerous about this? They're just driving around.
They're just revving.
They're just revving on the street and stuff. But yeah, I remember a specific moment when we were riding in this van, and then we were going through one of the tunnels, like underwater tunnels or whatever, and you could just see this horde of cars, dude. It was so crazy. Just the sounds and just being able to hear it. Like, I think it's something that'll stick with me forever. There's guys sitting on the windows of their cars, you know, just like going crazy.
They were filming it too.
Yeah.
Because they haven't seen something.
I wish I could get some of their footage, but it's probably just as bad as mine, so it probably wouldn't matter. But yeah, these dudes, I think they were just happy to be able to do this again, because, I mean, it was hooning, pretty much, you can call it that, you know, but it seems like these guys never got a chance to do it, and then these guys finally had the opportunity to get together again. And I mean, I guess on that's pretty cool that we were able to bring that to them, you know?
Yeah, you're the catalyst there.
Yeah, I guess we kind of sparked something, you know? And then I guess I'll take all the negative that comes with it, but we did do a lot to kind of revive.
What negative? What's happened?
I don't know, just death threats and stuff.
Oh, because it went viral.
Yeah, it went viral in Japan, so...
Oh yeah, fucking Japanese people aren't down to kill anybody.
Nah. Yeah, Japanese people got super angry about it. So people were posting all kinds of Japanese comments about hateful comments in Japanese that I had to
Japanese people get so white?
You're like, oh, that's pretty bad.
I had to Google Translate, and I was like, what? They want me to crash into a wall and die?
Not you particularly, right?
I don't know, probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, that year after that whole tunnel run, we stopped at some random, like, I don't know what street it was, but that's when the Kanjo King showed up, and then he was doing his fucking sideshow thing where he's like doing all kinds of donuts. That guy's an incredible driver. I mean,
I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, I have video footage of that too. But the car looks like an ant that's just spinning. So it's like a micro machine if you were just twirling with your hand.
About that.
Yeah.
Maybe because I was suffering from the flu.
Oh yeah, we're also dying that year because we gotten super sick. That was when we went to.
Thanks, Ayako.
Oh yeah, well, that was when we went out to Tokyo too, right? For the.
Yeah.
What the fuck were you guys doing with Ayako?
She was just coughing in her face, man. You know, Japanese people don't cough with their mouths. They don't cover their mouths when they cough and stuff.
It's probably because we went
Yeah,
to
they do.
JBBQ.
No, not people in Osaka, man. They just be coughing all wide open.
People in Osaka aren't really people, you know. So.
Yeah, so and then we had gone out to Tatsumi that year too,
like
and that's when we got super
freezing.
sick. That's when we went out with Richard Eichmann.
Yeah, Richard Eichmann.
Yeah.
Andrew Bannister.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah, we were like super sick, dude.
Highway Star.
Yeah, Highway Star. We were so sick that despite all these amazing cars that we were looking at Tatsumi, I sat in the car and I was like trying to go to sleep because we were just dying. So when we were in Osaka, after he showed up, after the Kanjo King showed up, we were showed back up from taking a dump. We went on the highway, and then they did their usual like blasting rounds around the loop that we couldn't capture and see anything, you know, so it was cool. And then like that huge group of cars, how many do you think went out on the loop? Not all of them, right?
Maybe like 15 of the 20 or something.
So they went on and then we didn't see them again. I just remember seeing a silver EF that was incredibly fast. Yeah,
sounded good too. Is that the one with the big Top Gun sticker?
Yeah, it was super clean
like
too.
No livery, just like fresh silver paint.
It was freshly painted.
Silver cars are the best.
Yeah. I thought white cars were the best.
I don't know. I go back and forth. It's really difficult.
Yeah. So after that, we had kind of developed a relationship with these guys, even though without ever speaking any type of English or Japanese or anything. There was like a sense of, there was an understanding there that we would go see these guys, and then they appreciated what we were doing. It was like a mutual appreciation thing, which was pretty cool. And then the following year was when the Bulls video dropped. and that's when things really got crazy.
Yeah, I think it has like 2 million views on YouTube.
Yeah, that's when we launched a website for it, and then we did a video and everything. And then, of course, people complained about it. They're like, wait, we waited all this time for an 11-minute video or something, you know? So, yeah. So, I mean...
I'm sorry. Like, you could have done something while you waited.
Right? Like Brandon was, like, filming this shit, like, on the highway with the fucking van door open, hanging out of the fucking van, you know? Like, shooting all kinds of crazy stuff.
That guy's crazy.
Yeah. That guy's down to do a lot of crazy stuff.
People are complaining about something that was free.
They complained about it completely for free.
Because they had to wait.
Yeah.
Fucking go to school or something while you're waiting.
And stuff that we worked on together for, like, 5 months.
Get a part-time job.
Yeah. We had someone code the site and everything, and then the videos went viral. The video went viral in Japan, and that's where JDM Oji-san comes from. Because Sonoda, Sonoda was getting interviewed, and then he said some pretty cool stuff. 今の JDM は kind of thing, right? Yeah, and that's when he did like he had a very interesting view on what true JDM was, which is really cool, you know.
Sorry, it's a little bit. 今の USDM みたいなものはだからそのね JDM が2-3 年前のものをアメリカ人がlike kind of thing, right?
Yeah. And then he became super well known for it.
Yeah, there's like people who have more YouTube views than the actual video that Bulls made.
Yeah.
Just like parodying him.
Like they made money off him. They made stickers of him and everything. It's really cool.
I never knew about that.
Yeah. So 2015 was when Robert went with us.
Yeah.
Robert and Yuri.
Yeah.
And then when Robert and Yuri went out with us onto the loop, it was crazy because at that point we had sort of gotten better technology. Like, is that when you had when you first got the GoPro?
That was after the Bulls film.
It was after the Bulls film.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because by the time that Bulls video dropped, like that shit was like full on revival in Osaka. Like there were younger kids that were getting into it, and then a lot of the older guys were coming out again. That year we went out with Robert and Yuri, we did the same thing, but like Durr and Robert were like sticking half their bodies out of the fucking van.
I saw that.
Dude, we're going like 100 miles an hour, and it's like 40 degrees outside.
Yeah.
So
Did you guys
when we
get
came
like
down,
frostbite?
our faces are completely numb.
Yeah, dude, there's some
it.
yeah, we got really great footage that year, and that's when we really started understanding how to get video stuff. Though it wasn't the greatest, like because we still don't know what the fuck we're doing. But at that point, it was kind of like a regular thing now with the Kanjo stuff. And then Robert got to experience it, which is really cool. And then it's like stuff that like I think people don't understand that it's like stuff that you see out there is stuff that like you can talk about, but you're never going to understand it how it is unless you're actually there. And then you found out how that was the year after when you went out with us.
Yeah
And you're probably the first person to actually ever drive a No Good Racing car with the No Good Racing guys on the loop.
I think so.
Yeah.
From what I understand.
The first foreigner to drive on the loop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
In a Kanjo car.
Oh, actually, in 2015 was also around the time when I got to ride in Ryuichi's car the first time. And Sarah also did too. And that was pretty crazy because I think we're the first foreigners to ever ride in his car. And then I got some crazy GoPro footage of that. And then it's like super shaky, but I think...
Just raw.
Yeah, I think people appreciated it because of how raw it was. And then that video did really well. And then I was glad to be able to document that. But by that point, he knew that, he had a following in the United States already. But we still had to protect his identity because, certain issues. Yeah. So no one still knew who he was, but people knew his car, and he had a persona already, which was pretty cool. He's like super known for not being known. Yeah. And then the following year was when you went with us for the first time.
Yeah.
And that wasn't during the winter, was it?
It was.
It was?
It was.
Oh, it was. Yes. It was during Tokyo Auto Salon 2016.
That was the year that I went a week earlier when my mom was still in the Tohoku region.
Yeah.
And then I met up with you guys literally like the morning of the first day of Tokyo Auto Salon.
Yeah.
That's what it was, yeah.
Yeah. We went to Osaka, and then you were driving because we were going to our meet, the Chronicles meet.
Driving the EG?
Yeah.
No,
where were we going? We were going
we were going to your meet.
Yeah.
But
super late.
Yeah, it was the Chronicles night meet, but then we showed up like fucking 2 hours late because we always have to
wait for
the 2 hour gap, the Yasu 2 hour gap, and then also the gap to wait for all those guys to get together.
Yeah, for Tsuyoshi to put like his shark sticker on
Yeah.
and then have it fall off on the way there.
Flew off on the way
Yeah. So that was around the time when the whole shark livery was getting super popular. There was like 4 or 5 cars that had it, and it was super cool. And then
And Tuesday, the green one only has one side.
yeah, because one side flew off while he was driving.
Yeah, it's like 0 degrees and it's wet. Like, what do you expect?
Yeah. Oh shit, we should backtrack because 2015 with Robert was also the year we met Joe from across.
And also Ryuji and MECHA-DOCK.
Yeah, that's when we also first went to MECHA-DOCK.
So you guys are bringing up these people, and I think it's super interesting because this is actually the first time I've ever heard these stories from you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But these stories have been told me by every one of those people. They're like, oh yeah, the first time
Really?
Joey came. Yeah. Joe told me, Ryuji told me, Kazu told me, Yasu tells me repeatedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like Ryuichi told me, like, they talk about it often. They're like, okay, it's like, this is what happened, this is how it started, like, this is how, like, this is how Joey became, like, I don't know, they honestly, to be honest, they hold you in a very high regard, and I think, because, I mean, that's, yeah, every time it's like, if there's like, yeah, every time they just, that's what they talk about, that first time, and then, not so much, but the second time, they're like, yeah, this one time, everybody came out. It was crazy, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, we have like, I guess to translate it, it's like we have a lot of gratitude, kind of thing.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
It's very.
It's helping those guys make money. That's why.
Huh?
Those dudes are making money now.
Not really.
No, but yeah, the gratitude is much appreciated. And then I remember, like, after the second year was when I knew that things were going to get kind of big for Kanjo racing in Osaka and all that stuff. And Vice hit me up. They emailed me, and they're like, hey, we want to do a piece on street racing thing, and we know that you have direct contact with these people. Do you mind helping us put this project together? And I was like, nah, not really. Because at that point, I thought it was supposed to be a super secretive thing that we were supposed to protect, you know? And I didn't know it was going to blow up the way it did
Also
now.
because Vice fucking sucks.
Yeah, also because Vice is very terrible at covering, like, any type of automotive or any type of general media other than, like, world news. World news stuff is okay.
Yeah?
Like the Viceland stuff.
Yeah, it's like the Los Angeles County Sanitation Department. If they hit you up and they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna cook this bomb-ass steak, you wanna be a part of it? It's like, no.
Yeah.
But like, hey, we're gonna like make sure that your toilet works every day. It's like, alright, cool, you do that.
Yeah. They do just enough for people to watch their stuff for like 20 minutes. So Vice hit me up and I was like, no, I don't want to. And then they ended up doing like some weird fluff piece on the Bozozoku culture, the bike culture.
Well, yeah, I remember because we watched it.
Yeah.
It was like extra lame.
Yeah, so they did that instead, and then we never heard from them again.
It's like, as a 5-year-old, I saw more than that in Chiba, like just standing there eating ice cream.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think I also didn't want to do the thing with Vice because I knew Brandon at the time was working on something already, which I knew was going to be better regardless, you know? So, and then you don't want any type of outside source coming in and potentially just overexposing or doing the wrong thing, you know? So I think we presented it in the right way earlier on.
They probably wouldn't have overexposed anything.
Yeah.
They probably would have just like, they probably would have filled some stock Civic driving down the street and be like, oh, there it is.
They would have found some random kid in Osaka that kind of drove a Honda or whatever. Or they would have found that kid that rides that no good racing bicycle.
Yeah, the whole thing would have been about him. Jeez,
yeah, so
it's weird too.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't want anything. I think we presented it the right way, and then even though like a lot of these people are like not generally the safest of people to be around, you know, like there was a mutual understanding there that we were cool with each other and we were going to present things a certain way, and then they were going to be okay with it, you know. Like I don't think we ever did anything that was like outright like, oh man, I wish they wouldn't have showed that or whatever, you know.
I think it's just because Yasu brought us in, so then they trust Yasu.
Yeah.
So then therefore they let their guard down with us and trust us.
So that year we went with Robert was
there was a little bit of fallout.
Yeah, it was.
But that's whatever.
I mean, you can talk about it.
After the wait, really?
Yeah.
Nah, it's fine. It's fine.
Are you sure?
No, it was just a matter of like several arrests and like stuff like that. Yeah.
Hey, sacrifices have to be made.
No, and I understand that, and like obviously these people know well, like that's part of it, and I mean we've all been there, like
we've been there while the cops were chasing them, you know. So and then that year when I rode in Ryuichi's car, his car blew up, like his fucking engine blew up, and I coasted off the highway with him in front of a police station. like his car blew up, and then we rolled it into the front of a police station, and then police officers came by in bicycles and notepads. And they're asking him all kinds of questions, and then we're like, oh yeah, we don't know them, we're just standing over here somewhere else.
You're totally fine.
Yeah.
If you speak English to them, you're automatically fine.
Yeah, they didn't write anything down on their notepad about me. So we gotta wait.
What are they gonna say? Bald guy?
Yeah. We gotta wait that night anyways, because I actually filmed that whole thing too.
Huh.
Yeah, I just never showed it. It's just like black video with audio,
Oh, when you were sitting in his car?
No, we were sitting like next, like a couple feet away from him.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so for whatever reason, I mean, we don't need to explain it, but we got away that night, and he didn't get into any kind of trouble, I don't think. But then, like you said, there was some fallout from another situation where people got arrested and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like because the video became so high profile that like the police felt a need to, I guess, make a statement.
Yeah.
So, like, it was a matter of just, like, it was just a matter of saving face. It's like, hey, like, this is happening, obviously. We need to do something, you know, that because it's our job kind of thing. So they did. They went out, made a few arrests. Yeah. I think things were generally okay. Like, nothing really permanent came of it.
A couple of those guys are used to being arrested anyways.
Yeah, they're fine. They're totally fine.
Yeah, so...
They're probably getting balanced meals for change.
Yeah. So that year was when we met Joe from across, which is crazy because Joe's that black EK was one of those cars that we had wanted to see forever because we had seen photos of it circulating online, and then we were like, yeah, so we want to go to the shop. And then he was just like, huh? I know this guy, you know, because he was like, he says he knows everybody. So he's like, so he took us there late night, and then when we got to across, Joe was there. Joe's a fucking rock star, you know, because you met him later on.
Yeah.
But this dude is like a pretty nutty dude. Like he's super interesting. And then like his shop is super ratty looking. Like it looked worse than our old shop. There were just motors laying around. And then he had his white NSX at the time, and he had his blue EF, his race car, and his black EK. And we got to see all that stuff. What time was that? It was like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock?
I don't remember.
Yeah, it was super late at night. And then that was the first time we got to see the Red Bull EF too, which is Ryuji's car. And Ryuji is the no good racing guy. He's the current boss. Yeah. And then he's also that Supreme EF isn't the same car, right? It's a completely different.
I don't know. I don't know what
it looks exactly the same.
He's always changing cars.
Yeah, because apparently he had sold the EF.
He did.
Yeah, and then he had that EG, which was the Red Bull EG.
Yeah.
Which used to be one of the Shark cars. And then now he has that Supreme EF, which looks exactly like the Red Bull EF.
I don't know, maybe he bought it back, something happened.
Yeah.
The Red Bull EF got repainted.
Yeah, the Red Bull EF got
else,
like,
and then maybe he reacquired it and painted it red.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But yeah, now currently it's the Supreme car, which is his car, which is pretty cool. I haven't seen that in person yet, but yeah, that was the year we got to see and meet Ryuji for the first time. It was just crazy because just being in that moment to be able to see all that stuff, and then after we went to a shop, we went to a Civic meeting, right? Yeah, a gathering at that same parking garage that we always go to, and then there was a bunch of Civics there, and we got to see even more cars. And by that time, there were a lot of younger guys coming in already, and then you got to see a lot of guys from like Magunamu, which were younger guys. They weren't like the originals anymore. They were just new guys. There's a lot of newer No Good Racing guys, which are also younger guys. And then what other crews?
Late Riser.
Oh yeah, Late Riser was coming back too, and they had been gone for a while.
That girl was there from Late Riser.
Oh yeah, the girl that ended up
the pink and purple EG.
Yeah, the one that passed away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then
that was a trip.
There's some Lawbreak guys that came, and then it was cool.
Joe from Warp.
Yeah, Joe Warp Racing. A lot of the guys coming out from there too. That was a cool night. We got to do all kinds of photos and stuff, and then I think afterwards we drove for like 45 minutes in the middle of nowhere to eat dinner.
Yuichi came.
Yeah, he showed up super late, and then at that point he had already crashed his car, so the front end was all fucked up, you know. So every year, like first year, it went from running out of gas, and then the second year he had to take a shit, and then the following year after that he blew up his car, and then he crashed it. Yeah, he showed up super late, and then we went to go eat curry somewhere, and it was like super weird because I don't know why we had to drive like 40 minutes or an hour out of Osaka to go eat at a truck stop to eat curry. I think that was probably the only place where they could put all their cars together, anywhere to eat without getting in trouble or whatever.
But it was cool because we got to see the cars on the freeway.
We got to
hang out of the sunroof.
It looked like we were racing, but we weren't racing. We were driving to go eat curry.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's always good.
Yeah, and then the following year after that was when you went out. And then we made a pretty cool video, I think, of you driving and stuff. I think that piece came together pretty well. It was pretty well received, but I think it'd be kind of cool to hear how you felt driving that car and how you felt about being immersed in the whole thing.
Damn.
So that was Yuta's first Kanjo experience.
Yeah, right? It was. And they're like, hey, Yuta's going to drive. I'm like, okay. He's gonna drive the EG. Okay, sure. And it's like, is it cold out? Oh yeah, it's kind of cold.
All right. Well, I don't know. I'm gonna try to put it into words. For one, I guess personally for me, it was a completely new experience. Exhilarating, of course, but somehow it was very nostalgic.
Oh, we should preface this. At that point, you hadn't even been to Osaka before.
Wait, hold on. Yeah, I had not. I had never. Okay, so previous to that, I would go to Chiba a lot because my family my entire family, literally my entire family except for me, lived there.
And Chiba's in Tokyo. It's like the grasslands.
Yeah, it's basically like the outskirts of
Like farm town.
Yeah, it's the it's the Gilroy to San Jose.
There's a lot of cool car stuff that comes out of Chiba,
top
though.
secret,
Mhm.
and I mean there's all kinds of. I mean the thing is the other large street racing, like the actual street racing
Mhm.
in Japan, a lot of it took place around the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Like Yokohama,
Like,
Tokyo, Chiba.
Tokyo, like Wanga and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because literally the Aqua Line connects Tokyo to Chiba.
Mhm.
Or Yokohama to Chiba? Yokohama to Chiba.
Yeah.
So
If you played Tokyo Extreme Racer, you'll know.
I've actually driven on there too.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's beside the point. So but back then I never really did car stuff because I was a child. When I started to go back to Japan on my own to hang out with car people, I was still very much into drifting. So I would often go to Yokohama, and it's pretty similar to I guess what you and I do, like what we here do now, but drift cars in Yokohama.
Mhm.
And then growing up when I was in the U.S. through my early 20s and stuff, a lot like 100% of my driving was in the mountains.
Mhm.
So I moved out to SoCal, and there really wasn't anywhere that I really liked to drive. There was a lot of things, like actually working like very much in the automotive industry. Like there's certain things that I kind of had to watch out for from a professional standpoint. So I stopped and I started going to the track days, which is kind of a bummer. But so and it's there's a lot, like there's an infinite amount of driving skill and experience that you can gain from driving on a safe and closed environment. But I guess it's the difference between going to college, getting your resume together, getting a career, and working toward retirement, as opposed to dropping out of high school, starting a business, losing everything, and then gaining everything you wanted.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
That's I think one is safe. I mean, a hell of a lot safer. Things are generally in control, structured, but I don't think there's something missing there, and
It's too controlled for you.
not even for me. It's just
For
like
just general people, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
can see
because I don't know. I've always said that nobody falls in love with driving because it's safe.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I guess at that point, I don't know. It was I guess it brought back I guess pretty much everything that I originally. I guess the reason why I stuck with driving for so long, to put it simply, it was just absolute freedom.
Yeah,
It was a lot of
dumped
fun.
into it too. It wasn't like anything that you knew you were going into. You were gonna do like
No, it was like Walkie's like, "Hey, want to drive?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, let's do this."
Yeah.
And then we got to the meet, and I was like, "Okay, I'm taking your car," and he's like, "What?" I was like, "Dirt, get in." Yeah, but it was for me personally. Well,
I don't even think people knew in that video that Dur was in the car with you.
no, I don't think anybody.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is,
We didn't tell anyone that you were driving.
you never
Just said
'cause
car B.
Yeah,
at the time. I think
there's still anonymity involved.
yeah, I mean, at the time, I figured your thought process was that I was, still involved with more on like the time attack stuff, and
Oh yeah, we
And
were
I
worried
think-
about that still too.
you made that call that it was probably best if you didn't state it outright, and I respected that. I mean, it's your video, and I didn't give a fuck. Like,
I also didn't want to get in trouble and get extradited out of Osaka.
don't worry,
call
I'll
the
make that happen
USMC.
sooner or later.
I was like, hey man, this Japanese kid just crashed his fucking blue Civic on the highway. Let's call the U.S. Embassy.
Yeah, aside from me just like absolutely like losing all concept of age and responsibility, I think it gave both myself and Dura like an amazing front row seat
Right?
to everything.
That's crazy, man.
Because we would just like jump from like we'd follow like a car for a while, and then we jumped into like another like pack of like 2 or 3, and then we just followed them for a while, and all the while some of them would just completely outrun us. It's fucking.
You led the pack at one point. There was a group that you were leading.
Oh really?
Yeah, and they were following you on purpose so you could be in front.
Huh.
That's why Kazuo was always in the back. He was our point of contact.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He lost us at one point, right?
Yeah, because you guys were fucking on a roll, dude. You guys are flying, man.
Dude, there was no way I was letting off.
Yeah.
Like if it wasn't for you literally hanging out the Alphard and be like, "Yo, there's cops."
Oh yeah.
At that point, like,
Man, I wish we could have got that on camera. It would have been great. We were just. I literally got out halfway out of the van window on the freeway. Like, hey, stop! There's cops.
the funny thing is, that moment I hesitated. I was like, "Fuck, so what?" And I was like, "Wait, okay, yeah. I mean, Yeah, I mean, it's gonna look bad. Dur's gonna get in trouble.
I think it wasn't even like a regular cop car. It was like one of those ones that were specifically out there. It was like an undercover one. It was unmarked.
Fuck it, what are they gonna do? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
See, that is my problem.
Yeah. You're gonna kill Dur. That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we just made sure that your face was covered, and then your face was covered too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it was okay.
Cold, so.
And then with somebody else's car, I was blaming on whoever owned the car.
It was so cold inside.
Even in your video, there's that moment where like, because I wasn't wearing a mask or anything.
Yeah.
And then you're just like, hey, here's a mask, put it on, and then
Dude, at that point, we didn't even address the names of anyone.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know. We didn't say who Waki was. We didn't say who Kazu was, or anyone. You know.
Yeah.
At that point, we had barely let out the fact that Yasu was the one that was driving us around because it was so obvious already. But then all the no good racing guys, a lot of them we didn't even know their names, and we figured we wouldn't ask. And then like we
better
weren't
not to know, right?
Yeah, we weren't gonna release like Ryuichi's name at that point either because he was going through a lot of stuff, and then so. I don't know. Like you went from never being in Osaka, and then you were just kind of thrown into the pool.
Yeah, it was interesting.
Yeah,
it was. I don't know what it was. It was like
it was absolute freedom, like you said.
Yeah, it was honestly way too natural.
Yeah.
Was it like an automotive playground?
Fuck. I don't even like playgrounds. Like even as a kid, I didn't like playgrounds.
That was the year. Oh, that was when Ryuji had his four also at that weird looking orange Vario. I was like, oh man. How we build something else, man? But it was like a tribute car, so I don't want to say anything bad about it because it was a car that meant something to them.
Right.
Yeah. So it was for one of their friends, and then so I don't know what happened to that car. They probably still have it locked away somewhere, stashed somewhere. But after that, and after we released that video, we knew that the shit had blown up already. In the United States, like in the UK, is where it gets really bad because they interpret Kanjo racing in a very weird way in the UK. I don't know why it's so weird for them over there, but it's like like people that try to emulate the style here, they sort of get it, And then I mean, I'm glad that no one has actually built on a full like Kanjo racer build or whatever. They try to say it's inspired, or whatever, but it doesn't look anything like it,
You mean like how like people in America who like dearly hold on to Japanese drifting style from 2001 to 2005, and they do an absolutely amazing job of replicating it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
like,
so you mean like it hasn't got to that point.
No, like it'd be cool if somebody actually held true, but I don't think anyone could do that but us because we actually seen this stuff, Whereas like the drifting thing, like there was much more exposure to it, so people had a better understanding of it, and it was here much longer also. In the UK, it's so fucking weird, man. Like the shit's so super cheesy, and then as they don't have any of the cool parts, so they just like make shit look like it, So, and then like the
what cool parts? Broken headlights?
Yeah, broken. Well, like SSR Type C's or whatever, like real wheels. And then like when they do the liveries, it's always super stupid. Like.
Yeah,
because it's not Top Gun stickers and no good stickers.
Yeah, or they'll make their own no good stickers, which is like really bad, and they'll try to sell them and shit.
Well, here's the thing that I think many people don't understand about driving Civics on the Kanjo. Yeah, there's a lot of these teams have the word racing in them, like like no good racing. But what happens on the Kanjo is not racing at all. There's no winner, there's no loser, there's no times. Nobody cares who's in front or who's in back.
There's no life bar.
Huh?
There's no life bar or timer.
Yeah, not at all.
Yeah.
It's very, very similar to the culture, motorcycle like Bosozoku in especially Ibaraki and Chiba and stuff, and it's like literally the exact same mentality, except it happens with cars in Osaka. That's it. Like it's just a different place, different medium, but
you can't replicate it anywhere else in the world because it's not Osaka.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think you could ever take that out of Osaka. Like you can try to copy it as much as you can, but it'll never be that.
I mean, yeah.
Whereas drifting, you can take it anywhere because it's drifting.
Yeah,
for the most part.
I agree. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, just like drive around the 605 and just like
and
the 605
loop,
rev at people?
Yeah,
like,
605 loop, and then you're just gonna go into the carpool lane real quick, and they're like, "Oh shit, I don't want to get fined."
I mean,
and if cops chased you over here, they would definitely get you because they would have helicopters and shit. They would shoot you and shit.
On the freeway,
they'll throw a tire strip out and you'll just blow up and you'll die. And
you
stuff,
you can't outrun the radio.
Yeah. So I mean, over there, they'll chase you for a little bit just to get you off the road, and then they'll just go back to doing whatever they're doing. And then I mean, they have caught people, but for the most part, it just seems like they're just running people off the highway so that they don't do it anymore, which is what I've encountered.
That's literally how the Japanese police almost always, like, just regardless of what the crime is, they'll get as much information as possible. They'll literally just serve you papers, and then they present that evidence in court, and that's it. And like that's how it works. Nobody ever tries to resolve anything in that moment in Japan, like in terms of the police. So yeah, they'll get whatever information they need that's necessary. If you're running a license plate, or if they'll take a bunch of photos, but that's all for future reference. Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah,
same with.
That's pretty much what happened when we blew the motor and we stopped in front of the police station. They're pretty much he just told the cops that we were coming back from the track. And they're like, okay, sure, whatever. Right. And then they just let us go. But yeah, man, I don't think you can replicate that anywhere else. So, but ever since that time when you drove, you've only gone out like one other time, right? But that was in the mountains with them, with Joe and them. That was this year.
I think we went again. No, wait.
Did we go again?
No, not really.
No,
just like
random casual cruising, right?
Yeah.
We would just hang out with them.
Yeah.
And then you went to the mountains with Joe and them. That was the time when I wasn't even there. I had already left.
Yeah, you had gone back to Tokyo, and because you're leaving.
Yeah,
Japan.
I had to go home.
But I had like another 5 weeks.
Yeah, because you were being a mule over there.
Yeah, Yasu and I just decided to randomly go up this mountain in Osaka. I think he talked to Ryuji, and he was like, oh yeah, we're going up that day, and Ryuji was there in his GTR, and
yeah, there's a great story behind that GTR, but we'll never talk about it.
Yeah, and then there was like a bunch of other cars there. Like
they actually go on the mountains way more than they actually drive on the street.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think people understand that.
Yeah, I mean that is the more the racing part of like that's not the they're trying to.
They're not hooning in the mountains because there's no one that cares. The bears aren't going like. Arr.
That's developing driver skill and trying to go faster and faster. That's not just like.
It's also way more dangerous because it's completely dark, right?
It's fucking sketchy.
Because you actually got to experience Joe driving for that.
I rode with Joe.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wish we had a GoPro on that, but I didn't know you were doing it.
I had a GoPro.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, Ryuji's like, here. And he like threw me a GoPro, and I was like, I turned it on, I held it up, pitch blackness this whole time.
Oh yeah, because it was dark.
Yeah, like what?
Hopefully you didn't go through any of the files that were in that GoPro, because who knows?
No, I didn't. I don't wanna. I don't need to know what Ryuji's dick looks like. I mean, if you ask him, he'll probably show you.
Yeah, but maybe next time.
Yeah. Maybe you can get it on your GoPro.
You won't show his face. We'll show his dick though.
Yeah. It'll be pretty obvious who's it. I mean, there's no way that dude does not have like a tattooed dick.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, dude, probably.
Anyways,
the koi fish on the balls and shit. Yeah.
We're just hanging out, me, Yasu, and Ryuji, and honestly, super interesting guy to talk to. He was talking. Did you know
that?
What?
That he met Ryuji and he talked to him for like a long ass time.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just like explaining like I didn't ask. He just went and decided to tell me like what his ideals were and like what his job was and his position and like what no good racing means to him. And
cool.
I mean I don't need to go into that obviously in detail because I'm sure it's very personal, but one thing is like because he joined when he was 13.
Crazy.
Wow. 12 or 13, and it was very different. It was very different back then. It was It was incredibly different, but from what they tell me, because him and Yasu joined just like the same month.
Yeah.
So and Yasu was actually older, obviously.
But we actually never even addressed that Yasu used to be a part of No Good Racing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's totally how he had to connect because he used to be a part of No Good.
He was in it for a few years. Ryuji stuck with it. He's still in it.
He's at the top now, top of the food chain, man.
Yeah. I mean, from what he says, he sees it as like it's not a matter of like making it or anything. It's just a matter of like this immense amount of responsibility without any guidance whatsoever.
Because there's so much tradition and everything involved with it too, you know. So
times are changing. Like, what do you preserve? Anyways, so we're up there hanging out, and then there's like these like Evos, STIs, the typical cars, just like making passes up and down.
There's a lot of cars.
Yeah, maybe 10 cars.
But you guys didn't know the guys in the Evo?
No,
right?
not at all. They're just like random guys that were just driving.
It was like a popular mountain that they go
to.
Oh.
It is. And these, they were decent pace. They would go up and down, sometimes in pairs and stuff. There's like R34 GTST. Sorry, 25 GT. There's like an R32. Evos, STIs, typical cars. Yeah, and then you hear like the loudest, most ridiculous sounding cars, and then Joe shows up. I didn't know it was Joe at the time.
What car was it?
It was EF.
Oh, the
black one.
The black one, yeah.
The blackish.
The girl's car?
Huh?
Was it? Is that his car?
Yeah, he just finished it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said he was just like, yeah, I'm just like, I just finished it, like just making sure the settings are good. Kind
Yeah,
of
it's the one that you see on his Instagram all the time now.
Yeah.
What are like Type C's on it? What wheels are on there? TEs?
T's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
King car.
The guy just has great style, man. It's amazing.
Honestly, okay. So that's a great looking car, but actually, give me a second. Yes, it's a great looking car. But when it showed up, there's like a parking area off to the right where everybody always stops. He just blasts by it.
Yeah.
Carrying a good amount of speed. And then like a few seconds later, like the silver CRX just also blasts by the parking area. And they go up a little bit further, turn around, and they just kind of just like cruise down. And then they pull up. I was like, oh shit, it's Joe. And I think
blonde
that's the
hair
first.
and shit.
No, he actually he was wearing a beanie, I think.
Oh, okay.
I had never met him previous to that.
Because we hadn't even seen him after that first initial meeting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I mean the dude's a rock star, so he never shows up to anything. Like I was supposed to shoot his car for Super Street, and then he just didn't show up. He was just sleeping or something, and I was like, okay.
he very much does. It seems like he does whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah. Between him and Ryuichi, they're like the two most rock star dudes I know.
Yeah, but he actually called me by my name, and I'm not sure why.
Like by your government name.
It's Utah. It's misspelled here in the U.S., but in Japan, it's like the pronunciation is the same.
Okay.
And he's like, get in. And I was like, and it's been well over a decade since I rode with somebody on a mountain. When I was first learning to drive in my early teens, 13, 14, 15, like I would ride with people a lot because I wanted to pick it up, and like you learn the movements of the car through your body, and like the way everything feels. You learn by feel. Obviously.
What was the situation in the car? Was there like just a bucket seat and a harness, or there's no harness? Or
there was a bucket seat and a harness. The harness wasn't quite fitting, so I put one side in over my right shoulder.
Yeah.
Connected to the left lap belt, and I was like, "Fuck it, we're good. Let's go."
Yeah, no, that's how it was when I rode with Ryuichi too. Because Sarah had ridden the car, so they adjusted to her size. So when I had to jump into the car on the highway because he had just pulled over, and then the cam lock was like on my neck, dude.
Lucky you. Sarah and I are like the exact same size.
Yeah, so it would have worked.
It would have been perfect.
I didn't have a cam lock on my neck. But anyways, as you were saying.
And then I was like, fuck it. Like, let's see what this is all about. I know Joe can drive. Now, I've never been on this mountain before. Like, I want to experience it. Like, if I fucking die, I die. You know? Like, this is like
he's an amazing driver because he's probably one of the few guys up there that tracks more than he actually drives on the street, it feels like.
I don't know if he does.
Yeah, because he tracks his car a lot.
And then he's always posting pictures of him on top of the podium. Like, he's always winning.
Yeah, he's always winning.
No, that guy's fucking fast.
Yeah. He's like, doesn't go to K1. He actually drives his car. You know?
no, yeah. And like, everybody acknowledges the fact that he's a really good driver.
Yeah.
And so the reason why he was up to that day was because Ryuji had asked him to show one of Ryuji's guys the silver CRX. He wanted to get better at driving. Realistically, the guy was good. Like the guy in the silver CRX, he was doing just fine.
Was it a car that we had seen before?
Huh?
Was it a car that we had seen before?
It's silver CRX with the GT wings is no good on the side.
What wheels are on there?
I think Type X.
Oh, I think I've seen it.
He wrecked it a few nights later.
Yeah, yeah, I've definitely seen it. So he wasn't that good of a driver.
Yeah, I mean that's how you get better.
Yeah.
I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, I figured it was just an opportunity. It's like one of those things where like if I die, like not my problem. If I survive, it will be a great experience.
Well, if you die, hopefully Across or someone from No Good Racing would pay the rent on over here at the shop, so in perpetuity.
No, I figure there's enough shit that you could sell to like 6 months until somebody could take over.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
so.
there's that Civic, the one outside, and it's like a bunch of crap wheels and
$500 Civic outside.
Wait, hold on. Which one is the $500 Civic?
The one that doesn't, the fucking hybrid one.
No, not that one. My daily.
Oh,
so you can get a couple grand for that one.
Yeah. But sell it to Amir.
You know what? Just sell my shit to Amir.
Sell it to Christian.
Yeah. No, Christian doesn't have any money.
Christian had no money. It'd be Amir. I would just have Amir take over the shop, and then I would just work out of his office.
Oh yeah. You could probably talk him into that. Like guilt him and with like sentimental shit.
Yeah,
you know, like Utah really wanted you to have his shop kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't, I don't care.
Yep.
Anyways, I thought it was gonna be I just thought it'd be a good experience. You know, like it's just like any spur of the moment thing. It's like you have an opportunity, you just take it.
It's like a once in a lifetime type of thing, man.
I honestly think so.
Yeah.
And I've ridden with a lot of people in the mountains, on the track. I mean, I've rode with Amir countless times when I was like helping him with like when I would take the tire temps, shit like that. It's just faster to just jump into his car from the hot pits and take a couple laps and then take all the measurements rather than to wait there.
You also ridden with Christian in a GTR, which is
Christian's a great driver.
Time traveling experience.
Oh yeah, it's like 1600 horsepower GTR.
Yeah,
that's a completely different experience.
Yeah,
I think it would be more fun driving with Christian in his EK. But anyways,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, then that GTR.
Mm-hmm.
Christian's EK was fucking fast. Anyways, yeah, jumped in and
Where was Yasu?
I just left him with Ryuji.
Oh, they're probably just hanging out.
Yeah, they were just hanging out.
Just smoking cigarettes and shit.
Yeah, they're just talking about ideals, you
Yeah.
know, ideals in history
Like,
and
"Hey,
reminiscing.
Can you get Joey to ask Drywire for this? It'd be like a race car sponsorship. We're like, oh yeah, I'm sure that'll go over really well with Ryan's business plan. Hey, you sponsor this no good race car.
I would, but
Yeah.
we immediately was just like, it was like balls to the wall. Like,
Did you guys even talk in the car? No, huh? He was just driving.
He was like, ready? I said yes, and he was like, all right, and just that was that. And then okay, first of all, that guy can fucking set up a car.
Yeah, dude.
That car had this balance of rotation and grip that was pretty fucking impressive.
This is a B16, right? Or,
It was stock V16.
yeah, it's crazy.
Stock V16. It was downhill, of course, but like more so than the drivetrain. I think it might have had a. I mean, obviously it had a LSD and maybe a different final. But aside from all that, like the suspension setup on that car was like on point. Like on point. Like it was like as on point as you can get in EF ever. With that said, I feel like I've been driving for a while. I always thought I was like kind of okay, but dude, fucking Joe can drive. That guy can fucking drive. And
How long were you in the car with him?
up and down. Sorry, down and up again. Both ways. Pretty.
It was a pretty long way.
Huh?
Was it like a...
Nah, it was maybe I don't know. It was somewhere between.
You didn't even know what time it was, huh?
Yeah, it was somewhere
Immersive
between like 3
experience.
minutes each way.
Oh, okay. So you guys would
And-
just go back to the stop every time?
Yeah.
Reset.
I mean, we went one down, one up, and then just let the car cool down, kind of thing. Yeah, that guy can fucking drive.
That's crazy, man. I wish we had been there for that, or to be able to see it.
It was really cool.
But hearing you talk about it sounds pretty exciting. So, and you're never excited about anything. So,
It was really refreshing. It's always good to be reminded of like just how far the like if there's a threshold there, you know,
Yeah.
where it is, and
yeah,
yeah,
that's pretty cool.
I think so.
But we haven't really done a whole lot of Kanjo stuff since then because it's like, I don't know. It seems like it's like kind of too exposed now, I feel like. And I feel like even in Japan it's super exposed now, and that we kind of like revived that scene for them, and now like there's no good merchandise being sold, you know, and they're like, it's become like it's something that's branded and being sold now. And then there's like the guys that are running the shops, like MECHA-DOCK and stuff, they seem to be doing pretty well, you know. And they've always been able to survive, but now there's more exposure for them, and that there's people coming from overseas and visiting them and stuff. And it's like, I mean, I'm kind of whatever about that, but I mean, I'm glad they have visitors, probably because those guys are customers too, you know. So, and then we just haven't done a whole lot of Kanjo stuff because Ryuichi was gone for a little bit, and then the situation where he kind of disappeared for a couple years, and his car had been broken, had been down, and kind of the car's been in hiding, and then the car's back up and running now. I haven't actually been able to see it in person since they got it running again, but it's alive and well, and he's driving the thing around again. And then I don't know, I feel like people always bug me and they're like, hey, whenever we go to Japan, people like they expect us to cover Kanjo stuff or to go out on the highways and stuff, and it's like I kind of want to, but also don't want to anymore, because the more we do it, I feel like the more exposure it's going to get, and it's going to, I don't know, there's a threshold for that too, I think. And I think that if we do ever do it again, it'd probably have to be something pretty significant and pretty big, instead of just us casually going out and risking our lives and shit. But like, there's people from over here now going over to Japan and visiting, and then going to these shops, and then like, I can't guarantee you, but these people are probably dropping our names, like just to get access to these people, you know?
No, what do you mean you can't guarantee that? I literally got a phone call like last week.
Okay, well, yeah, there's literally people that
It's
you're
like,
gonna,
hey, do you know this guy? It's like, oh yeah, I think I met him once.
yeah, you're gonna see like a lot of Kanjo stuff covered on a lot of different places now.
Yes, Tommy, that's about you.
And these people are getting access to these things because they say that they know us or whatever, you know. And it's like, at that point, if people are doing that, then why the fuck do we need to do it anymore, unless we're gonna make it big and make it good, you know? No pun intended.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I always feel like we did. I don't know if we necessarily did a good thing. I still don't know how I feel about it to this day. Like, you asked me like how I felt about us kind of not accidentally, but like with no purpose, revealing the scene and then kind of reviving this whole scene over in Japan and then bringing it to light. I don't know if it's the most positive thing, because I guess just because of what it promotes or whatever, but
What does it promote?
I don't know, street racing, I guess people can say, because people will interpret it their own ways. They won't see it for what it is. They won't, because I've always told people that I only covered it because I'm covering something that was like a traditional thing in Osaka, and that's special to them. You know, it's
Yeah,
like a cult. Like, you know, it was an experience. You know, where people over here are just like, oh, you're promoting street racing and blah blah.
What's wrong with street racing?
I don't know. At least I'm not out here promoting Mustangs crashing into people. That's all I need to worry about.
People are gonna hurt each other no matter what.
Yeah. So I don't know. I've always kind of.
It's not your responsibility. It's not. You're not
Yeah.
a government official. You're not a police officer.
Yeah.
It's not your responsibility
It's one of those.
to try to guide society into some positive, hopefully utopian state.
Yeah.
Like that's not your job.
No.
That doesn't pay the rent. Like that's.
Yeah, I always feel like I have some sort of responsibility to uphold these things. I don't know why, but I think it's because I've been doing this for so long, and people have told me like, "Hey, you have a responsibility now as a person."
Nah, you don't. Well, that's the thing. You don't. You literally don't
Yeah.
because you don't report to anybody.
Yeah,
You don't owe anybody shit.
you know, I do what I want because I'm signed to me. So
Exactly. So fuck it. Like why?
yeah.
Why?
Yeah, so I think if we ever are gonna do it again, I'll probably do it like how I always do. I'll just drop it on people, and then it'll be a thing. And if we don't do it again, then we will never do it again. It doesn't fucking matter because
I think it's
we've already
okay.
done my thing, you know. Ryuichi now is like we finally showed his face. What was it last year? Or this year?
At Pablo.
Yeah. So he got to say his piece, and then now he's like he's all about Instagram now and selling his fucking t-shirts and his hats and stuff. You know? He actually just messaged me right now. He's still asking me about stuff. He was like, "Hey, what t-shirt sizes are you guys?" And I was like, "Man, I gotta wear this shit over here." I was like, "I could be wearing this shit over here." So I don't know. Like he had like Salem design his logo and everything, and then I was like, "Oh, cool, man." And he's just trying to cash in on it, you know. He's put in his time and he's put in his work, so he should get his piece. And I think that's fine. That's right, you know. Like it's cool. You do what you want. Same thing with the No You'd guys. Like once their scene got revived, they kind of cashed in on it too, which you know. So I guess it's better that they cash in on it than somebody else because there's plenty of people cashing in on their shit anyways, you know. So I don't know. I would never do anything like that because I just feel like it's not right. Like you don't like they were like, yeah, you can make a collaborative No Good Racing sticker. They're okay with it, and I was like, yeah, I don't want to do that. Like. It just seems weird and campy to do that, you know. So
I agree with that.
yeah, and you don't see like the Chronicles times No Good Racing fucking decal. I'm like, no thanks. Like I like the stuff that they gave us as gifts, like the original No Good Racing stuff.
All the reflective
Yeah,
stickers.
before they started selling it, because that the older designs and the stuff that had so much more history to it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's like gifts handed to us from them personally, you know, from the moment we first met them, which is really cool. Like I appreciate that stuff. And then a lot of the newer stuff that they're giving us, like it's still cool, but like I know that people have access to it now, you know, so it's like, I guess it's like not as cool, you know. So I don't know, I just figured now would be a kind of a good time to talk about it because it's something that we've never really spoken about. I've just written about it and you see it in videos, but you know, in the videos people kind of see it however they want, you know. So and when we first started doing it, we got all kinds of backlash from it from people out here, you know. They're like,
You just talk though.
yeah, it's just talk. They're not
Just
going to do
crying.
anything about it. Yeah, people just want to bitch about it because some people were mad that because they felt like they probably discovered it first or whatever, you know. And
Discovered what?
yeah,
Or they're
Or
just
pe-
jealous
like, Japanese
that we
people are
got to
people.
experience it.
yeah,
Hey, believe it or not, Japan is not a figment of your fucking white imagination. Like, we are people. Like I don't think many people realize that. They have like this idea that like Japan is like this place that was made for their fucking entertainment, but it's definitely not.
yeah,
It's like I'm sorry, I'm gonna be Japanese right now because I'm gonna say we, but like this is something like Japan and it's fucking strangeness it's all very deeply rooted. There's a reason for everything. I mean, that's literally what culture is. And no, it's not so that Americans can discover it and fight over who discovered it.
yeah.
Because
It's the whole.
nobody fucking needed you to discover shit.
It's like
you know?
Paradise Manifest all over again.
What? What's that?
Manifest Destiny. Like,
Oh, white people?
yeah.
Yeah.
Or just anyone in general. It doesn't have to be white people. It's anyone
That's
just kind
true.
of coming in
That's
and
true.
taking over something because
Yeah.
they feel like they deserve it or it's theirs, you know. So
Yeah, I mean, which is cool. Like, I mean, like, and like, you know, historically, like, you know, regardless of race, if one civilization destroyed another and took their shit, that's how it was. But like, yo,
Yeah.
you didn't destroy shit. Like, you just came over. Like,
no,
you know,
we're curating it pretty much.
Yeah.
We're holding on to it to even more so than I feel they are now.
like people who say they discovered this or discovered that.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I mean, like, you saw it. Congratulations. Somebody like thought of this and did it for years
Yeah.
previous to that.
We accidentally discovered Kanjo racing because we had dinner and we didn't want to go out that night.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
you showed.
We're just showing
A
our
few
experiences,
people-
man. We weren't claiming anything, you know? So we weren't going out there like, hey, we discovered this new thing. It's highway racing, man. This is on this freeway system. It's called the Loop, you know.
Yeah,
never
it's
claimed anything.
that's a very interesting concept to me. It's
Yeah, that's how people are, man.
and what?
Yeah.
Even
And
those
then
people
what?
Even those people that say they discovered it, if they were to go to Japan, they wouldn't be able to experience it anyway.
They don't have access to it, you know. So we did what we did with the resources that we had. That's all we did, and we try to present it the best way possible.
You were literally just hanging out.
Yeah.
You were hanging out and you were recording it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry that you're stepping on somebody's toes, Joey, but it's
I don't know. But I felt like
who the fuck are you, Toes?
I spent like 9 years stepping on people's toes. So I don't care, you know, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I almost feel guilty a lot of times because the whole American Japanese car culture is so like intertwined now, or they're so all about American car culture now that they're like, it's like becoming less and less Japan almost, and that's a bad thing to say because, I mean, I don't know. It's tough to describe because, you know, I understand that things come full circle and we exchange cultures and stuff, but it feels like they're almost losing a lot of the stuff that I originally liked about Japan in terms of car stuff, you know, because they've adapted so much of our style. And I'm glad that Kanjo racing and that whole entire scene or community hasn't done that. In terms of the purity of the cars and the driving and all that stuff, it's nothing. There's nothing American about it. It's still very much Osaka and it's theirs. And it's crazy in that it's like popular throughout Japan now too, which is crazy. And then those guys outside of Osaka are interpreting their own ways, but even if they tried to emulate it, it's never going to be that. It's something that's always going to be in Osaka, which is great.
Well, here's the thing: this is my take on that, and it's the way those cars look is a product of their intended use. It's not like people are like, oh, dude, I'm gonna build a car that's gonna look at home on the up on the Kanjo. And then I'm gonna take it up there. No, it's like these cars are like stock, and then they took them up, or they did LSD final coilovers, and they just took it up, and over time, you know, replacing parts with what was available, and making sure, you know, because you have to be in a team if you're gonna go on there, and not, you know,
because you're gonna get robbed. Get their car taken. So
you display your association, your affiliations with pride, and that this is just a product of that. This is not a style.
Yeah, you can't bring no good racing cars over here and be like, hey,
yeah,
I'm running the 605 now, man. This is my shit now, you know, like.
Like you can wear, I don't know, a white polo shirt, a white skirt, and carry a tennis racket, but
you can wear a Lakers jersey. It doesn't mean you play for the Lakers, kind of thing.
I like the tennis one better.
But people like doing that because they like to say people that rock No Good Racing stuff and say that they're No Good Racing. They're saying it because I just support them. That's just me like repping my sports team or whatever. But it's like, it's not the same thing. You're just kind of making it that way so that you have a reason to rock No Good Racing shit, you know? So, but I don't know. People do whatever they want with it.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm glad that still has its own sense of purity to it. And I'm going to try to hold on to that as long as I can.
Well, nowadays, it's like I honestly, it seems like nowadays, like they don't feel like any pressure to show you something like fucking like a revelation of like automotive fuckery. Yeah. That, you know, they wanted to show you so badly. Now it's like, hey, could you stop by Costco and get some pizza because we're gonna have a barbecue?
Yeah.
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 So.
They don't even feel the need to show us anything cool anymore. They just want us to hang out and eat beef with them.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Which is totally fine.
You can watch them take naps and stuff, which is really weird. But yeah, Japanese people at barbecues, they just nap. Yeah. But yeah, I'm glad that we got to see that stuff, and I'm glad that we were a part of it for that period of time. And wherever we go with it is wherever we go with it. I don't know. I don't have a set plan for it, but I'm glad that we know these guys. Shit. Yeah, I don't owe anybody anything, and we don't owe anybody shit for, like you said. So we do whatever we want.
I think that's the correct way to think about it.
Yeah. So it's funny because I was on Twitter and I follow some Japanese dudes on Twitter. I don't know who they are, but they just post car shit all the time. And some guy posted a screenshot of some news report about Kanjo racing, apparently. I didn't understand the translation, but the footage that they were using is from the Bulls video.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where Sonoda is where he's following the cop and trolling the cop, you know?
Oh.
Yeah, so it's funny. I mean, it's still in the news, so it's something that's definitely still going on, and it's getting more popular, I think, over there. So. Well,
the thing about Japanese news is that they always need content.
Yeah, so they're just taking Bulls videos and using it as news reports.
Hey, like anything.
Yeah.
Anything to keep those old ladies from changing the channel.
It's because the news vans can't keep up with the Civics. So yeah, I mean, I hope you guys like enjoyed this listen on us randomly reviving some sort of culture in Japan. I don't know. It's an interesting listen. I hope so. I guess that's all for today.
If it means anything, I appreciate it. I think you, even being Japanese, but being from a different part, like, it's stuff that I had never seen before. So
yeah, I'm glad that my takeaway is that I'm glad that the guys that are involved with over there appreciate what we did for them.
that's definitely worthwhile.
I think that's the best part of it, because it feels that we presented it in the right way, you know, even if it didn't blow up or if
Why
it didn't.
do you keep saying we?
Oh, me and Dur.
Oh,
I mean, you had a part of it too, because you're the translator guy and you're the guy that's driving now too, and you're putting yourself at risk. So you know, we're all a part of it.
risk.
I never say I, because stuff that I mean, I guess I'm instrumental in bringing it to light, but I also wouldn't do it by myself. I have you guys here for a reason, so we can experience it together. And me and Dur have been experiencing Japan from the get go, you know. So
Yeah.
So and then
I met Dur before you, by the way, and he didn't remember.
yeah, because Dur was way more famous than any of us. So.
I know.
But yeah, it wasn't for Dur's willingness to accommodate new technology and helping me understand it, we wouldn't have the type of stuff that we're seeing today. That's why he always gets producer credits, even though he's not around anymore, because he's too busy traveling and partying and stuff, you know?
Sorry, I'm back.
Yeah.
No, like, when he was talking about his Europe trip, that sounds fucking amazing.
Yeah, dude. So, I mean, he's traveling the world, he's seeing it, and he needed a little break from Japan, and that's fine.
I'll be back one day.
Yeah, maybe next year, because... I don't know.
So, okay, to be fair, I feel like you're taking a break too from Japan. So.
Yeah, well, you spent way too much time there. That's why. That's your problem. You decided,
worker.
yeah, you should go over there as a visitor, not volunteer as a worker.
No, I am. And next time I go, nobody's gonna know. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go one day.
You're gonna show up. We're gonna see you on a train just riding by. We're like, oh shit, hey, Utah's here,
No, I'm not
and we'll call you by your government name.
I'm not gonna go at the same time as you guys. I'm just gonna go by myself, just like randomly.
Okay. Well,
And,
I'm just gonna
like-
go visit your mom and shit. Right?
Yeah,
So,
maybe
alright.
that'd be nice.
Yeah. All right. That's all for today, folks. Thanks, Dur.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Dur.
You're welcome.
Later.